Take a walk with me for a sec into your mind. Clear out everything, let go of all your earthly attachments, and be present in this moment. I want you to think about the Bible, how it says, a man is done and undone by the words of his own tongue. One of the most powerful things spoken throughout the day and age, and yet it's hidden within a book. A similar book called the Kabbalion by Hermes and Three Initiates. Uh, it talks about similar principles to the 14 universal laws, which also talk about manifestation, as did the Bible. Now, with this said, if some guy was thrown into a realm, right? And in the old universe in South Dakota, a lady named Jessica tried to drown him in a bathtub, and he didn't die. And then, circa 2020, he astral projects into another body in your world near a McDonald's on First Street in Sanford, Florida. He talks about having superpowers, super speed, all this other stuff. You don't believe him. Then your government tries to blind and deafen him. If if your government sent invisible soldiers, theoretically, hypothetically, of course, if stuff like this happened, if they sent invisible soldiers with light refraction suits, per se, like a bunch of mirrors overlapping to help camouflage the surrounding environment, if the best of the best went to try to blind me and deafen me in both ears with handheld sound devices, if they tried to blind and deafen me, now my question to you is, why? Why continually try to cause suffering to somebody like that? Not only that, but imagine that boy ends up trying to work at a Wawa gas station, right? You send a superpowered agent in there named Jason Mall to punch him in the face faster than the speed of sound. It doesn't work. He doesn't get damaged, injured, nothing. He continues to load bills into the safe underneath the counter. With this said, for some odd reason, somebody forced my consciousness to exist and go through all this pain. Now, with what I've told you and what we know about the scientists behind the placebo effect and the 14 universal laws in the Bible, you would probably think somebody with the knowledge that I have could warp reality on command. It's not that simple. I know a lot about manifestation. I know more than most. But I'm not going to tell you anything about warping reality. Not on the internet, not on YouTube, no. Because that would be taboo, unheard of, schizo, like you lost your marbles, so. Anyways, with that said, just realize that if you can't deafen something, if you can't permanently disable its ears when you try your hardest, if you can't blind something when you try your hardest, and if it's said that, somebody failed to drown it when it was a kid, would you yourself continuously try to hunt or harm that individual? Think before you act. Remember that.